Hey guys, I know I haven't covered much on Injustice 2 lately, but the past month has been flooded with information and character updates. Not a lot of like new characters, but like some of the characters that we already know. I just wanted to make a quick summary of everything that's been going on in the past month in terms of major Injustice 2. I don't know, I feel like I'm becoming one of those news channels. I don't want to do it, I just want to become a gameplay channel. But let's get started. I figured my breakdowns and discussions videos were pretty straightforward compared to some of the more in-depth and detailed YouTubers out there that are fully dedicated to Injustice 2. Because I'm just doing a little bits here and there. So I didn't really focus too much on like the 5 or 6 videos that's come out since the last one that I did. A month ago, the last video that I worked on was It's Good to Be Bad, you know, with Gorilla Grodd, Captain Cold, Bane, and Scarecrow, right? The one with the insanely badass soundtrack. Then the Injustice team showed up. Oh no, Injustice team was always there. They showed us character gameplay trailers. The one's about like a minute and a half long. You know, they introduced like a little bit of the dialogue in the beginning, gameplay, combo strings, and then usually finishes off with the super, right? The Injustice channel, the official one, gave us Catwoman, Captain Cold, Flash, Scarecrow, Poison Ivy, and Brainiac, in that order, Brainiac being the most recent one. We knew these characters, like I said, from did I say it? I don't know. We knew these characters from the previous trailers, gameplay snippets, cinematic teasers. We knew they were going to be in the game. They're not new characters, right? But we just haven't seen enough gameplay for some of them, especially Flash, Poison Ivy, Scarecrow. Actually, no, pretty much all of them, yeah, really. But in terms of... But out of the gameplay review, I think Flash has to be... For me, like, it was the most anticipated because Flash was confirmed when they first announced this game with that cinematic teaser, right? The one that's like super dank, dark, and then you got like Batman kicking ass and everything, and then everybody puts on armor at the very end, right? Like Aquaman was one of the more... Actually, no, he was one of the more early ones. He showed up with like Gorilla Grodd in that, like the first gameplay teaser. Flash just showed up like now, right? It looks like they gave Flash a lot more speedster abilities. You know, he has like that little whirlwind thing. He has like the full teleporting side screen dash he punches, right? And his super, honestly, in the first game, like I didn't think they could top his super, but because it was pretty fucking badass. Like if you think about it, it's the closest thing I think to the infinite mass punch, you know, like because he runs around the earth in just like a matter of maybe like less than a second or something, and then he just punches the opponent with all that velocity that it builds up, right? I didn't even know how they could top that super, but lo and behold, the Injustice team, has done it again. Fucking good looking, amazing super. Brainiac's super is actually not that bad. It's probably like my second or third favorite because it's such a condescending thing. You know, he just summons his drones and then they'll hold him and he just stands there while like a giant laser beam from one of his ships calls him down. Kind of like what Luthor did in Injustice 1, but then he did like the Spirit Bomb variation, which kind of undermined the entire thing. He should have just satellite bombed the... He should have just like let the satellite do its job, honestly. And then after that, right, we had Shattered Alliances Part 4. You know, the one thing that I wanted to mention in this one is that in the beginning, Batman says he has a mole in Gorilla City. That's how he's getting intel, right, about the society. And then it cuts to the shot of the 4, or these 4. But we end and transition with the shot of Deadshot entering the scene. So at first, listen to me, at first I'm like, you know, it would be pretty badass if Deadshot was Batman's mole, because maybe in this universe they're working closely together, because Deadshot in the end is a mercenary or assassin for hire, right? I don't know. It'd be kind of cool, Deadshot and Batman working together, but it's probably unlikely because we see Selina on the bottom left here. You know, she's in the society. And knowing their history and in the events before and during the first Injustice game and whatever other canon side story that they have, it's safe to assume, even obvious, she is the mole. There's like never a moment she's not in love with Bruce. Like she'll never betray Bruce for a higher... Like in the end, like ultimately she will do whatever it takes to be with Bruce or do anything for the better for Bruce, even if in some occasions she backstabs him or feels like a traitor because like the ulterior motive is to be with Bruce kind of thing. I mean, he's motherfucking Batman. You don't need a reason. Moving on. You know, Reverse Flash having a role in this game with other characters aside from Flash's own personal arc is going to be such a treat for the fans. You know, how he interacts with some of the other major villains that want to work together against Flash, or like other insurgency or in the regime people, right? Like, will we have Batman interacting with Reverse Flash? You know, there's some Flashpoint paradox, little Easter eggs here and there, just like some cool stuff instead of just Flash and Reverse Flash, right? Like, the Injustice team is NetherRealms. They're just constantly teasing us with little snippets of the story. We still don't know the major acts or arcs. We kind of figure how it begins, kind of like the middle, but the ending is still completely open, which is what I like, right? They didn't spoil everything. We just kind of figure that some of these major events are going to happen. These characters are going to be on this side of the faction, and it's up to us to play the game and then find out, right? Like, Brainiac is supposedly the main villain and the ultimate threat to the entire game, right? So it's probably gonna, his threat is probably going to unite the regime, insurgency, even the society by the end of the game, and like some other side characters that don't really have an affiliation. You know, maybe like Swamp Thing, because Swamp Thing will do whatever it takes for the better of the planet. He's not necessarily gonna be part of the regime or insurgency, or at least not in the, at least I can't imagine, right? I mean, like, the society, I don't know, the society kind of, I don't know, I don't really imagine them working together with the regime or insurgency. They're probably gonna be like a semi-subplot for like the first like 70% of the story, and then get fucked off by Superman and Batman by the end of the game. I don't know. And then, you know, like, that's Shattered Alliances 4 essentially, right? So then after Shattered Alliances 4, they came out with a video called Your Battles Your Way. It essentially summarizes how online will work with the whole RPG loot gathering mechanics. The more we play, you know, the more we earn. In turn, we build our favorite characters the way we want to in terms of stats, aesthetics, gameplay, etc, etc, etc. We already saw a lot of armor variations in the beta, given the characters that were available, but we have more teases to insanely good-looking gear. I mean, like, look at Swamp Thing, dude. He looks like a fucking fairy king. Like, in a good way, right? Like, he's got the whole crown and everything. That looks fucking amazing. I like the fact that they made a video specifically to introduce this system, like customization and gear, because I think they announced it pretty early on in like news articles, interviews, and everything, live streams, how the game will run in terms of it, but I don't think there was necessarily a dedicated trailer that fully goes in depth to a generous degree and covers the basic facts of what we can expect out of the system. And you know, they always have good music too in all of the videos and trailers, man. This kind of reminds me of Black Mask. I think it could be a potential reference, but I think I'm kind of stretching it here. And after that video and some character gameplay reveals here and there, right, all in between, we had Shattered Alliances Part 5. This is apparently the final story trailer. Thank God. I just didn't want too many spoilers, and I think they did a really nice job concealing everything, because honestly, even the first Injustice game, it was pretty lengthy. Right? I mean, you put in like gameplay and everything here and there, right? But like Injustice 2, just cinematically, there's just so much to expect. And they just teased us, I think, just a good amount of information. We can expect what's going to happen. We get more excited. It's one of those things where instead of like, oh man, I don't want this character to be on this side kind of thing. Oh shit, major spoiler. No. Like, I'm pretty sensitive with spoilers, but I think they did a really good job not crossing the line. You know what I mean? You know, going back to Brainiac though, I really like the voice actor that they had for Brainiac during that monochrome cinematic story trailer. You know, the one that's like a whole like non-gameplay and like engine, all like movie style and everything. But this one is also a really good take. You know, they're both good. I don't know. I kind of would like a choice between the two, really, because the second one here has like the voice modulation. It gives more of a Brainiac feeling. It has like a slight reminiscent of Brainiac's voice from if anybody remembers Superman the Animated Series or Justice League. It has like that slight androidy feel to it. More of an android feel to it, but you can sense that personality. But going back, you know, I don't know, in the end, I mean, the cinematography is just, it just looks so damn good, you know, all these vibrant colors, all these details, and just the whole landscape, even like the close-up attention to like the small little things, right? Brainiac's stage, which we can also see in his gameplay reveal, which came after Shattered Alliances Part 5, is probably gonna be my favorite stage so far, unless there is a dedicated Darkseid stage, Apocalypse or something. I don't know, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I don't know, I don't think it makes any sense, because what's his super? Cyborg Super, they send him into Apocalypse, I think, so I'm not sure if they're gonna have a dedicated stage for that, because it's like, if Cyborg uses his super at Apocalypse, and then he sends him into Apocalypse, and then sends him back out into Apocalypse, I don't know, that'd be kind of weird. I don't know, Brainiac's stage just looks amazing, because it's got like the whole warm thing in the background, you know, all this edgy techno, just like space, like dark purple colors, you know? Like I don't want to, like we have enough of the city, you know, like nature, landscapes, you know, like towns, civilizations, but like this whole techno futuristic space, non-cave basement laboratory areas. It's just cool, dude. It's just cool in comparison to all the stages so far, and all the stages have been pretty cool. This one is just like, it's so edgy. It's so edgy. And also, if anybody has seen my previous videos on the story, I forgot which one, but I talked about how I wanted Superman. I think it was Shattered Alliances Part 2. I think it was Part 2. I wanted Superman to redeem himself in a way where we sort of forgive him for the bullshit he caused, right? But ultimately, he atones for it in the end, right? Having Batman and Superman working together for a greater cause, just like how they originally started working together in the first place, like, you know, like the major origin stories for Justice League, or, you know, even just the duo together, right? There's a greater cause and they have to work together because they both provide different utilities and sets of abilities that, that when working together, you know, they're even greater than they were when they're together alone. Like, they hate the shit out of each other, like, too much, or maybe not enough. Batman knows Superman crossed the line when he killed the Joker, right? And the Batman says it always starts with one, and the Superman just didn't stop, right? And the Superman doesn't understand why he wouldn't kill one to save potentially billions. I mean, he also lost Lois, his unborn baby, all that, just because Batman wouldn't take his one life. That's why he's so like against Batman, because Joker was Batman's villain. It was his responsibility, and then every time Joker gets put in Arkham Asylum or wherever, he always gets out, right? And that's kind of like the angst with Superman, because Superman just thought that Batman had his back, and all he had to do was just take out this one guy. Just take out this one guy, and like none of this would ever happen. But then Batman is not willing to go that. Batman is not willing to cross that line, even for the sake of Superman's family, right? So there's a lot of like, it's a really good conflict between the two. But when they toss their differences aside and fight Brainiac, oh dude, you know, I want to see Darkseid in the story. Maybe a small part. I don't know. He is pre-order, but that doesn't mean he can't be in the story, right? Like, there's a bunch of games. I can't remember. I think like maybe Street Fighter 5 or I think MKX did it, where it's like they'll have DLC characters in the story. Oh no, I don't know. MKX had Rain. There was a scene with Rain, but then he's not exactly playable. Stuff like that, right? Like, there's a moment where you fight him. They gave him his own moves and everything, but I don't think you can play him unless you mod him. I would imagine Darkseid could also do the same thing, where they'll have a part for him, even if you don't have him available, if you didn't pre-order or get the DLCs, whatever, right? I mean, I'm just wishful thinking at this point. And then we have like a small little shot here where Swamp Thing, assuming he's on Brainiac's ship, just bitch slapping that canister thing. Oh, dude, he's gonna be fucking amazing because he is one of the most powerful heroes. Brainiac's MO, going back, pretty much threatens exactly who Swamp Thing is, because Swamp Thing is all about the planet. Brainiac is all about salvaging, research, just gathering, devouring, not like Galactus or anything, right? But he threatens the planet, the entire planet. But in the end, I just wanted to make a quick summary of some of the Injustice 2 videos that's been coming out in the past month, and just sort of give my insights on it. Like, Shattered Alliances Part 5 is the final story trailer. So from now on, we'll probably most likely have the remaining characters revealed, more gameplay live streams from the Watchtower, the official Injustice 2 team, NetherRealms, and stuff like that. There's not a lot of time left before the game comes out. There's only so much information that can be put out, right? Aside from story, just, I don't know, like mechanics-wise, we've already got it down. Characters, maybe some stages here and there. It's just pretty much characters at this point, right? And trying to wrap this up at the very end, I just wanted to apologize again for those who wanted to see, like, the pretty... I consider, like, my Injustice 2 videos pretty straightforward, you know? I just like talking about the stuff because, you know, it's just video games, DC, and put together. It's a bonus, really. It's just fun to do this. This stuff is fun to make. It takes a while sometimes, but it's kind of worth it, right? There's been a lot of support in these videos, and I hope you guys have been enjoying all of them. When the game comes out very soon, you know, with all these reveals, teasers, gameplays, like, who do you guys want to see? Oh, dude, I want to see Darkseid. And apparently Darkseid's super, his super is different from the mobile one. I thought it was going to be the same one as the mobile one because Deadshot has the exact same super as the mobile game, the first Injustice mobile game, not the Injustice 2 mobile game. Darkseid's super, I am going to post a link down below. I will not spoil it for anybody. It looks absolutely fucking amazing. But when the game comes out, I want to cover more gameplay. I want to do, like, you know, weekly matches, you know, the story, things like that, you know, stuff that I can also stream with, right? But I just wanted to really say thank you guys for watching the video. I really appreciate it, however repetitive that sounds. And I hope everybody has a good one, and I will see you all next time. Thanks again, guys.